Last week, I was able to finally get to the theater and check out Christopher Nolan's new movie Tenet, and I have some really mixed feelings about it, but we're going to dive into it and we're going to talk about it. One thing that I really liked about it, probably that I liked the most about the film, was the concept. If you go into a Nolan movie, every single time you can expect something new and something that you haven't seen before ever done on film. So to go into this movie with very little knowledge about what's actually going to be going on, knowing kind of the what he's trying to go for with the time inversion, you kind of knew that that's what he was going to go for, but you didn't really know what the whole plan was, what the problem was. And so I really enjoyed the concept, and I really enjoyed being able to sit through the movie and watch it unfold, try to figure out, what's going to happen with this character, what's going to happen with this character, how's the time inversion going to play into this, how are they going to solve this problem. So that was the main thing that I thought was really good about it. The next thing that I really liked was the characters. I loved John David Washington playing the protagonist. I think he did a really good job. I also liked that they kind of focused more on the story than they did on the character. Now, I love character studies, and any film that has to do with a character study, kind of based on that character's arc, I think is great. I love to see a great character study, but in certain circumstances, this being one of them, I really thought that it was a good idea from the creative that they just mainly focus on the story instead of the character. So by the character portrayed by John David Washington, by him not having a name, I think that was a really good idea, a really good thing. You weren't caught up in just his character. I thought that the character of Neil was played really well by Robert Pattinson. I think he did a really good job in it. Just kind of seeing the dynamic duo of he and the protagonist's journey together, I thought that was really well done. Kat was a good character, a really good side character, who also played a major role in the story. I thought she was written very well. I thought Kenneth Branagh's character might be one of the most compelling characters that Nolan has ever written. Obviously, when you think of other characters that Nolan has written, the Joker comes to mind, Leonard from Memento comes to mind. There's just so many. But I think that Kenneth Branagh's character was really well written, the best character in the story. Definitely a good villain, definitely a good antagonist, and he did a phenomenal job portraying the character. And I loved his performance in Dunkirk as well, but I thought that he kind of took this character to the next step. So I really enjoyed that. The next thing that I want to talk about with the good aspects of the movie was how they did the time inversion. I was kind of worried going into the movie. When you sort of mess with time in movies, they tend to, it can either go really good or it can go really bad. Now, I had a lot of faith in Christopher Nolan because he always comes through, always does a good job with what he's trying to get across. But I think that the time inversion played in really well. I didn't think it was too confusing, and I didn't think that it was over the top. I thought that when he did incorporate it, it worked well, and it was needed in that time, but it wasn't too much to handle. Like, I didn't feel like that I was trying to play catch up with the movie the entire time, trying to figure out what's going on here, what's going on here, why is the time inversion suddenly here. So I thought that did a really good job with that. Now, that's all of the good that I have. Let's go into the mixed aspects and some of the bad. While this movie was really good and I did enjoy it, there's still some things that just really frustrated me. The main thing that frustrated me with this film was And even though I listed it as a positive, I had a problem with the concept because I felt like at certain times of the movie, and this is just my opinion, but I felt like in certain times of the movie, Christopher Nolan focused more on the concept than he did on the story, and I felt like some of the screenwriting got a little bit lazy in some points. Not a lot, but enough to kind of make me frustrated. Something else that kind of got on my nerves was the ending, and I'm trying not to spoil anything here, but the ending of a Christopher Nolan movie is always kind of open-ended. You know, in Inception, you had the top spinning, and you were left to decide whether he was in a dream or he was in reality. And both sides of the spectrum can put together good arguments whether he is in a dream or he's still in reality. You have the ending of The Prestige with Hugh Jackman's character opening his eyes in the box after one of his other characters is killed, so you don't know if that's a clone or you don't know if that's the real Hugh Jackman. Then you've got Interstellar, where Bran is on the other planet and Matthew McConaughey's character goes out, and you're just left to wonder, does he find her? What happens when he finds her? So Nolan always kind of leaves the ends of his movies open, and I just didn't really get a satisfying feeling with the end of this movie. Like, with the protagonist seeing Kat and her son, and the movie ending on that, I didn't really know what they were going for. Now, I have my theories, and I'll make another video on that, but it just kind of frustrated me because even though Christopher Nolan's other films are open-ended, they still provide you with some sort of closure. So that just kind of frustrated me with this movie. Another thing that I would put in the bad category is how they explained some of the aspects of the movie, like the scene where you've got the red room and the blue room, and they go in and like one side is inverted, one side is normal. They didn't really explain that. I felt like they didn't really explain that as good as they should have. Now, I've only seen the movie once. I plan on going and seeing it again, so maybe the next time that I watch it, I'll pick up on something more. I've heard a lot of good opinions from people that I trust that say the second time you watch the movie, it's better, and you do understand a lot more, so I need to go back and see it again. But that was kind of that. It just didn't feel like they explained it enough, and I wish they would have spent a little more time on that. There is a lot of things in this movie that were going on at the same time, and this isn't a bad thing, this isn't a good thing. This is sort of the only mixed feeling that I had about the film. There was so much stuff going on, and with any other director, aside from a select few, that brings a movie down. But anytime Chris Nolan incorporates a lot into his movies, in my opinion, it just makes it go up. But in this film, it just felt like too much was going on at the same time, and you were jumping around from here to here. One minute they were in this country, the next minute they were in this country. So it just kind of felt a little rushed to me. I did feel like the runtime was okay. I thought that it was a good runtime. It just felt like they should have cut out some of those aspects from here or there to kind of give other scenes more time to breathe and play out. So if I were to rate this movie, it's kind of a tough rating for me because I really need to see it a second time before I give a definitive answer on it, but I don't like doing that. I want to give you my initial thoughts. So I'm going to have to give this movie an 8, and by no means is that a bad rating. I don't think it's the best Christopher Nolan film, but I definitely don't think it's the worst. I enjoyed the experience. I enjoyed being able to go and sit in a theater again. That was really exciting. And I enjoyed just being able to spend 2.5 hours sitting down, watching something new, watching something that I haven't seen before, and just being able to dive back into the world of cinema. So, giving this movie an 8, I would tell you to definitely go check it out. Whether you're a Christopher Nolan fan, whether you're not, doesn't matter. I think that you can probably find something enjoyable in this movie, but definitely go see it for yourself. Definitely go check it out, and just keep watching movies.